Hi, it's Kim Wilson again, and we're up to our last card for the May card class. So again, I'm using the new Stampin' Up! In colors, all 5 colors on this card, and we're again using the marker technique, and PDFs are posted. Let's see, I'm going to put measurements up here, but really you don't need measurements for this card because you're basically using scraps because they're all sorts of angled in there. So depending on how your scraps are laid out, I did hopefully get some measurements that would cover, because some of the scraps are larger than others depending on how your little shutters go for this shutter technique. So let's see, the little some little tips. The rectangle or the square piece you cut out, make sure when you stamp it diamond direction, because you make that into a diamond. Your little strips are going to be 1/4 inch. A 1/2 inch will work, but I think it looks best with 1/4. And then make sure you have a piece to glue your a piece of any sort of scrap cardstock or whatever to glue everything down on, because then you're going to have to trim all the edges. All right, so let's start assembling here. So we've got, again, Secret C for our background here, and then we're going to have to, of course, put a piece of white on the inside for any sort of sentiment or greeting you want to put on the inside, which I'm not going to bother with today as I show you. But anytime you have a dark cardstock like that, you need something for the inside. All right, then lots of scraps here. So if you have a kit from me, you'll have all the pieces you need. And let's see, I think I didn't get out the little square. There we go. So I've got here a 1 3/4 inch square, and I'm going to tilt it so I remember. Oh, I can put it on my grid there so I make sure I get it in the right direction. Now for my sample, I just stamped it in Secret C. But again, since we're trying out this marker technique, let's go ahead and do maybe these little sunbursts here in Darling Duckling. So we get a little bit of a different color. See how that works. And then we'll do the letters with Secret C here. Okay, and give it a huff. And stamp. Okay, so we got a little bit of a different look there with the colors. So the first thing to do is just to glue that diamond. I put mine kind of centered, but a little bit more in the top quadrant of the card, just to give it a nice look there. Okay, so I'm putting on my diamond first, just to give myself an outline. And now when you're adding the strips, it doesn't really matter where you start, but you're going to start at any of the corners. So you want to start right, and you're just abutting the strip to that diamond there, so it's so easy to do. The only thing you might want to take care with is not to put glue away to the edge of your strip, because it's going to hang off and need to be trimmed. In fact, I think I'm going to throw a piece of scrap paper down there so I don't get my glass mat all messed up, as long as I make sure I don't glue it to the paper. All right, so we've got the first one started, and then just keep going around in a circle. So this one, I should have actually used my smaller one first, so let me see if I have a larger one here. Yeah, there's a larger one. So this one's gonna have to go all the way to the edge there. So I need a larger piece there. I think we've done this technique before, but it's been a while, and it's such a nice one, and so worth repeating. That one there. We're just going around around in a circle to get all those pieces on. Okay, kind of looks like a pinwheel, doesn't it? But I believe it's called the shutter technique. Okay, so we've got all of our strips on. This one shifted a little bit. Okay, next step is to put on the cardstock. So we will start with the biggest piece, which is going to have to go to this corner. So that's the most area I have to cover. You know, I think it would be easier, wouldn't it, if I just put my glue on my paper and then I wouldn't have it all over the place. Okay, got that one. And then, let's see, I think I'm going to do this one here because that one's slightly bigger. Whoops, put it on that side. And so everything just goes right next to the previous piece, so it all fits in like a puzzle. Okay, my next biggest piece is this one, so I think I'll put that one there. And then my smallest piece is the cloud cover, so we'll add that to the top. This looks kind of silly, doesn't it? But I'll wait till we get it all trimmed up. Okay, now flip it over and you gotta trim off all those pieces. But I want to make sure everything's down and sticking first before I start cutting. So now I might use my old scissors for this one because I don't want to get my snips all gluey. So just trace around that piece, cut off all the edges, and you might have enough scraps even to do another card like this too, because there's still quite a bit left there. You could even try piecing in, you know, different colors, use up all those different scraps. So hey, it turned out, yay! So now I just need to mount it on my card and I'll be done, because it really is pretty easy. All right, we just used stamps, ink, and paper, and a lot of glue. All right. And I should have said stamps, markers, and paper. So wasn't that fun? We got to try 3 different techniques with the markers and using all the new in colors. Can't find the last card, but anyways, it was a lot of fun. Oh, there it is. And if you want to contact me with any questions or anything, I'd be happy to help. There's my blog, and I hope you all have a wonderful week. And card class in person is tomorrow, so if you're in town, I still have plenty of room for card class. Happy crafting.